So yes, one of the word coined in our previous panel, let's not just have manels, right? So it's something to look back to, and I'm sure Dr. Narendra would have taken a note of it. Not just manels, we'll try and get a female perspective, hopefully in a lot more panels as well. So with that being said, let's go ahead to our next talk. And for that, it's indeed my honor to now call upon our guest of honor. So, starting in the plenary session 6, can India make a difference in a sustainable, equitable, inclusive growth in India's Viksit Bharat? So, for the first talk, we are elated that we have one of our dignitaries who's joined us, and of course, the team is now going to be trying to clear the stage because we have an individual talk first. So, starting with that, she's somebody who's performed leadership roles at Academy of Management USA, was recognized with a lot of certifications. She's got more than 20 plus years of experience in academia, not just as a dean, but the head of department, chair, founder, program director. She's somebody who's published more than 16 plus books, completed research projects supported by WHO, Academy of Management, UNICEF, to name a few. She received the Hind Ratan Award 2015 for the outstanding services, the Best Symposium Award 2018 at the Academy of Management. Also, 2018 Book Awards as one of her few accolades which come to her recognition. With a big round of applause as we call upon our guest of honor, Dr. Radha R. Sharma, Professor and Dean Research and Industry Academia Linkages at New Delhi Institute of Management. Let's give Dr. Radha a warm round of applause as we invite her on the stage.
Thank you for a very generous introduction.
Thank you so much. Over to you.
Now, I hope I'm audible.
Yes, yes, you are.
So, good afternoon, everyone. I'm joining you from New Delhi virtually. It's indeed an honor and a privilege to be a part of this summit. I thank NQ Collaboration and Dr. Naren for the opportunity. The theme of this plenary session, can India make a difference in sustainable, equitable, and inclusive growth in India's Viksit Bharat, is pivotal for every patriot Indian. As we know, Viksit Bharat is government's initiative to achieve the goal and vision of transforming India into a developed entity by 2047, the centenary year of independence for India. We are all aware India is acknowledged as the fastest growing economy by the World IMF. The World Bank Global Report projects India's economy to grow at a steady rate of 6.7% in 2026 and 2027. But according to financial experts, for India to become a global economy, its GDP growth needs to be at 8.1 to 8.2%. Hence, a number of reforms and initiatives need to be undertaken or accelerated, and I would like to highlight a few in the interest of time. The first and foremost initiative I would like to draw your attention to would be agriculture reforms. Because India is an agrarian economy, and about 72% of the people in India reside in rural areas, and nearly 70% of them are dependent on agriculture, which is labor intensive and also traditional. Having lived abroad and having lived in developed countries, I have observed that the farmers there are not only having better education, but they have better knowledge of technology, they have better infrastructure, and therefore they have better financial returns. Therefore, I believe and I urge that rural areas in India need to have better facilities, more facilities, and institutions for education and enhancement of their skills so that they become proficient in farming, cropping pattern, high protein yielding crops, and many other things which will get them better financial returns. Not only that, I would also recommend that the villages need water, irrigation facilities, better infrastructure, and also better connectivity between rural areas and the market. And if all this is looked into, in an accelerated manner, this will reduce hardships for our farmers and promote modernization and also enhance farmers' income and contribute to their equitable and inclusive growth. My second recommendation would be leveraging India's youth power. And as we are all aware, 66% of Indian population is below the age of 35. Now, this population can be leveraged again through proper education and skill development. But I would like to share some statistics which will make us ponder as to how do we go about it. We find that 27.3%, which constitutes youth in India, who are in the age group 15 to 29, as per 2021 census, they can be developed, but they are comparatively much lower number, as we saw 66% as total population below the age of 35. Now, if these people are properly nurtured, they can definitely be developed into critical thinkers, change makers, and can drive India's growth. But there is another side to it. And I would like to quote statistics from a survey by National Sample Survey Organization, which is of 2021, but the statistics hasn't changed drastically. And this survey revealed that 32.9% of the youth population in India in 2021 were neither in education nor they were having employment or training. Now, this percentage may have reduced, but such population, needs extra attention for making India Viksit Bharat. Now, we have some very good initiatives by the government. We have Skilling India, Make in India programs, but these programs need to be accelerated if we wish to involve all the young people to make India a Viksit Bharat. The third point I would like to bring to everybody's attention, and in fact, there was a panel on this just before the session, that was women. Now, we are all aware that women constitute 48% of the population, but their contribution to GDP is only 18%. Now, if female labor force participation can be enhanced, it can significantly contribute to India's GDP. But the facts are that only 28% of women are in the labor force in urban areas, and in rural areas, 47.2% females are there. Now, rural areas, we know they are engaged in manual labor and so on, but in urban areas where women are educated, we have heard from the previous panel that they face a lot of biases, constraints, a lot of restrictions, a lot of prejudices, stereotypes, and challenges, and for which a lot needs to be done. In fact, gender equity and gender equality has been my area of interest, my passion over the years. And in fact, I've been serving on a global committee on gender diversity and inclusion for the past 3 years. And prior to that, I was global ambassador for gender diversity in organizations. And having interacted with the women from across the globe in this role, and having done research in this field, I have found that equality is there, but what matters most for Indian women is gender equity, whether it is at the workplace or whether it is social. In fact, I have bridge the gender gap. And in fact, this instrument of mine is being used by research scholars in various countries. Now I'm getting significant results. So therefore, this is one aspect that gender equity has to be provided. And how do you provide gender equity? Some of the points have been highlighted, and maybe I could take it up separate. 2013 Act, where women on the corporate boards have been made mandatory for a certain group of companies. Now, this has really helped women to be on the board, and 2023, 18.3% women were in the corporate boards, which was up from 13.8% in 2018. So considering the research reports, considering the global data, we find one of the report from McKinsey said that if we can enhance India's workforce participation, India's GDP will grow significantly. So this was my third point. Coming to the next point, I come from the academia, and we are all aware that National Education Policy 2020 has been introduced by the government, which has recommended a number of reforms. A number of reforms have also been undertaken. But what we find in reality is that there is wide variation in the quality of education. And when we want to become a developed country, quality will play a very important role. So we have this eternal triangle of quality.
Apologies, Dr. Radha. There is some technical issue because of the network lag. Is it okay if we can wrap up your session, Dr. Radha?